Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of December. I spent 11 years of my life living in Hull, both as a student and then when Andrew and I were first married. Hull is quite a historical city, and probably its most famous historical figure is William Wilberforce. He was born to a prosperous merchant family in 1759. Went on to study at Cambridge University and became the youngest member of the House of Commons as MP for Hull at the age of 21. While still in his 20s, Wilberforce developed a strong Christian faith and was influenced by the social reformers in the Methodist Church. This in turn led him to speak out and campaign tirelessly for the abolition of slavery, a campaign which suffered many defeats and setbacks and lasted for 18 years, but for which he is best known. Even after the Abolition of Slavery Act was passed in 1807, he continued to campaign for the freedom of slaves throughout the British Empire. Today is the International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. Therefore, an apt time to reflect on all that William Wilberforce achieved all those years ago. However, the sad reality is that slavery is very much an ongoing issue in the world today, with over 40 million people worldwide currently living as victims of modern-day slavery. This varies from practices such as forced labour, debt bondage, forced marriage, and human trafficking. Essentially, it refers to situations of exploitation that a person cannot refuse or leave because of threats, violence, coercion, deception, and/or abuse of power. In addition, more than 150 million children are subject to child labour, accounting for almost 1 in 10 children around the world. These facts and figures are shocking and highlight perhaps an area of our society which most of us feel to know little about. It was brought home to me a few years ago when our younger son, Joe, took on a placement as part of his university degree with a charity in Sheffield called City Hearts. They work with victims of modern-day slavery here in the UK. Joe spent time working in a safe house, providing support for men who had been rescued or escaped their traffickers. They were often extremely vulnerable, living in a strange country, and they needed help to access medical care, counselling, legal support, etc. It wasn't until I heard of some of the work that he was doing to practically care for these people that I was much more aware of the extent of the situation. Issues like this often feel too large for us to do anything about. But knowing that both in the past and in the present there are people who are willing to speak out passionately about the injustices they see ultimately gives us hope, and maybe prompts us to take action too. Finally, some words from Isaiah 61, spoken by Jesus. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the broken-hearted and to proclaim that captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. God go with you today.